Navigating the 2026 manufacturing landscape? Well, if you are, then you probably already know that the stakes have absolutely never been higher. Sourcing critical components just isn't about flipping through a catalog anymore and hunting for the lowest price tag. To build a truly resilient supply chain today, we really have to completely upgrade from a basic commodity mindset to forging strategic, highly technical partnerships with our suppliers. And the absolute foundation of that modern supply chain, it's the CNC lathe. Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to lay out a strategic playbook for you today. We'll cover the CNC turning advantage, precision across key industries, evaluating machine fleet capabilities, matching strategy to the buyer, and finally, workflow and green procurement. Starting off with Section 1, the CNC turning advantage. Let's define the technical foundation, because successful sourcing really begins with deeply understanding the underlying tech. So, at its core, what makes a CNC lathe so powerful? It's all about automation. Picture this. You've got a workpiece rotating at crazy high speeds, meeting a stationary cutting tool that's perfectly guided by G-code, completely leaving old-school manual lathes in the dust. It's this precise control that literally redefines what a factory can output. And what exactly does that G-code automation buy you? Try plus or minus 0.005 millimeters. I mean, we're talking about microscopic margins of error here, which, amazingly, are now completely routine in high-end 2026 facilities. Establishing this level of precision upfront really shows you just how extreme the stakes of modern manufacturing are today. For procurement professionals, this technology offers three massive pillars of value. First up is scalability. You can efficiently order a single prototype or just as easily push a 1,000,000-unit production run. Second is material versatility. These machines can handle everything from aircraft-grade titanium all the way to specialized PEEK plastics. And third, complexity management. Modern multi-axis lathes can mill, drill, and tap all in a single setup. By not having to move the part from machine to machine, you drastically reduce your work in progress or WIP time, which goes straight to improving your bottom line. Moving into Section 2, precision across key industries. This is where precision actually meets production. Look, here's the golden rule of sourcing. Not all machine shops are created equal. You absolutely have to map their specific capabilities to your industry's battleground. Take the automotive industry, for example. Right now, we're seeing a massive shift away from traditional engine valves straight into electric vehicle components. Think high-precision battery connectors and sensor housings. In this sector, high-volume reliability is king. If you're sourcing here, your supplier literally must prioritize IATF automotive certifications and be able to handle strict high-volume production part approval process, or PPAP requirements. But if you shift your focus over to aerospace and defense, well, the rulebook completely changes. Aerospace parts like turbine fasteners and fuel nozzles demand extreme temperature and pressure resistance. You're dealing with really exotic, notoriously difficult to machine alloys like Inconel. Here, your procurement logic has to demand AS9100 certified suppliers who offer full material traceability and rigorous non-destructive testing capabilities. Now, think about the medical device sector. When you're machining surgical instruments or tiny orthopedic screws, you are playing in the realm of micro-precision. Medical buyers require specialized Swiss-type CNC lathes just to handle those long, incredibly thin components. And things like clean room packaging, ISO 13485 compliance, and strict material biocompatibility, those aren't just nice-to-haves anymore. They are entirely non-negotiable requirements. And finally, we've got the booming electronics and telecommunications sector. The explosion of 5G and AI hardware has created a massive, absolute surge in demand for complex heatsinks and RF connectors. For these components, it is all about perfect surface finishes, often measured in very specific RA values for surface roughness, along with specialized metal plating like gold, silver, or nickel, just to guarantee proper conductivity. All right, Section 3, evaluating machine fleet capabilities. Let's look under the hood. Now, what's really interesting here is that a glossy supplier catalog only tells you half the story. You have to audit the actual hardware on the factory floor, because your parts geometry dictates exactly what you need to be looking for. Standard CNC lathes, they're perfect for simple, cost-sensitive bulk orders. But if your part needs, say, a flat surface milled onto a round bolt, you're going to need turning centers equipped with live tooling. And if you've got tiny parts with a diameter under 32 millimeters and extreme lengths, you must verify they actually have Swiss-type lathes on site. And what about quality control? For global buyers, the price versus risk calculation is everything. If a factory is still relying purely on outdated manual calipers, well, that's a huge red flag. Top-tier 2026 factories are integrating automated coordinate measuring machines, or CMMs, right alongside AI-driven vision systems. These AI systems actually sit directly on the lathe itself, catching tiny signs of tool wear before a whole batch of parts gets rejected. It's a real game changer. On to Section 4, Matching Strategy to Buyer. Let's dig into some sourcing scenarios. This brilliantly illustrates how abstract strategies become totally concrete when we map them directly to specific buyer types. For instance, e-commerce sellers focus heavily on speed. They need rapid prototyping shops with 7-day leads and in-house finish capabilities. Brand owners, on the other hand, need ODM, or original design manufacturer capable factories, that can assist in design for manufacturing to really cut down on waste. Bulk importers, they are looking for automated 24/7 bar feeding systems for rock-bottom unit costs. And sourcing agencies absolutely require transparent ERP systems so they can get real-time tracking across multiple clients. Bringing us to our final section, Section 5, Workflow and Green Procurement, Execution and Sustainability. Okay, let this number sink in for a second. 30%. Newer, servo-driven lathes consume up to 30% less power than older models. If you're a buyer tasked with tracking your supply chain's Scope 3 emissions, this metric is an absolute game changer. Finding factories with modernized fleets directly helps you hit your own corporate sustainability goals. And this whole green turning initiative goes way beyond just cutting down on power consumption. These sustainability practices aren't just feel-good PR anymore. They actually make serious economic sense. Leading factories are using closed-loop systems for coolant recycling. They're literally compressing aluminum and steel chips to sell back to smelters, which actively earns high-volume buyers valuable material credits. Being green in 2026 literally saves you money. To actually execute all of this smoothly, you need a highly disciplined workflow. You want to avoid common nightmares like tolerance creep or unauthorized material substitution. So, step 1, provide flawless 2D drawings and 3D models with incredibly clear tolerances. Step 2, force your suppliers to break down their RFQ into setup costs versus unit costs. Step 3, always demand a first article inspection or FAI report to prove their machine setup actually works. And step 4, coordinate your logistics early, really factoring in the heavy weight of things like steel or brass parts when you're deciding between sea and air freight. So we've covered the mechanics, the industry specifics, and the modern workflows for 2026. As applications keep expanding rapidly, building a truly resilient supply chain means ditching that old transactional mindset for good. So I want to leave you with this question, and I want you to answer honestly. Are you treating your CNC supplier as just another commodity or as a true technical partner? Think about it. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and we'll catch you next time.